What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Leah Love. I am back for another edition. It is literally 5 a.m. this morning, and I woke up thinking about a lot of things after poring over lots of news reports and pages on social media. We got a lot going on, but one thing that I am concerned about is the fact that so many patriotic Americans are literally dumbfounded by what America has become. In other words, we have seen major election tampering over the past couple of days. Now, you may have seen, I think I had about 149 views. I did a live with a couple of fellow patriots on election night. We were up till 3 a.m. We were running the numbers. By the time we closed out at 3 a.m., Georgia was at 99% votes, and it was for Trump. Pennsylvania had a huge advantage for Trump, but they refused to call it just yet. And then we had Michigan, which was also leaning towards Trump, and we had Wisconsin. And we were looking at the numbers. We were looking at Politico and couple other sites that were tracking the numbers minute by minute, as well as the House and the Representatives. By my numerous, I literally still have the sticky notes here. As you can see, this one literally, we were counting the numbers. I don't know if you can see the letters, but we were counting the numbers, and literally Trump would have had well over 270 had they called Georgia and had they called Pennsylvania, which we already knew because of Joe's lying about the fracking. Oh, I'm going to frack. No, I'm not. Oh, I am. I'm not. We got him on video going both ways. Whatever the wind blows, whatever's going to help him win is what he's going to say. But at the end of the day, we woke up the next morning, and magically, after these states refused to call, they were at 80 to 90%. Ballots counted. They refused to call. Wake up the next morning. Magically, Michigan found 138,000, mail-in book ballots that were all for Biden all of a sudden, and not a one for Trump. And this is after they claimed that they were going to stop counting until the next day, at about 11 a.m. or whatever, they were going to restart. Now, all of a sudden, they come up with 138 ballots, 138,000, excuse me. So here's the thing. A lot of people are extremely concerned, and they're wondering what we can do. And I wanted to address that because at the end of the day, it's really about being informed. And that's what I have been able to do for myself over the past 7 or 8 months, is actually be informed, is to research. I got over mainstream media. None of them report. Not CNN, not NBC, not NPR. None of them are reporting. They have literally had a complete ban on the Hunter Biden and Joe Biden scandal, which would, if you research it, and now the FBI has verified, though CNN and them will never tell you that the emails were legitimate. There was no cyber attack. There's no Russian collusion, which the MSN like to say. And they also verified the actual hard drive. The information on that hard drive shows that both Joe and Hunter are compromised. They are basically owned by the Chinese. They have taken millions of dollars in. It's verified. You had the business partner of Hunter Biden, Bobulinski, I believe his name is. He did a whole interview. He was interviewed 5 hours by the FBI, passed with flying colors. He is the literal business partner of Hunter, who and Hunter is the one who had him meet Joe at a hotel in California to talk about their business that they were forming with a high value Chinese individual who was also part of the Communist Party. And they were going to funnel billions through Hunter and Joe's, their investment fund. And meanwhile, Joe has repeatedly said, I had no idea what my son was doing. I never asked him what he was doing. I trust him. Meanwhile, now we have an actual meeting, and he's got emails, he's got footage of him meeting Joe with Hunter, talking about their collusion with the Chinese individuals as well as the Ukrainians, and the money that they were going to bring in, and that Joe needed about 10% of it, as Hunter calls him, the big guy. We also have, footage of Hunter, with underage girls in China and other places. He loved filming himself, smoking crack, doing all of this. So you have a person who is going to be quote unquote president for about a month before Kamala offs him, but he is compromised. He is with that high level of security clearance as vice president of this country. He was taking funds, and it is verified from China and from these other countries. So we already know that China has been infiltrating the US via the Black Lives Matter movement. They have been funneling lots of funds through various organizations. They have clearly stated they want Biden. They do not want Trump. Why? Because Trump doesn't give a crap about any of this stuff. He's not a career politician. He's not a 47-year politician who claims he's helping Black people and all of that. Yet he's got the 1994 crime bill and has done nothing to help Black people, but he's still the champion. So at the end of the day, we have a situation where now, which Trump was saying from the beginning, but of course MSN, twisted it to say, well, Trump is claiming that there's going to be voter fraud. And so, because of course he just will not concede power. We already know that the mainstream media, as well as even the FBI, which we need to question because Director Wray sat on this hard drive. He had this hard drive from last year, didn't publish it in the midst of the Trump impeachment, which was about his collusion, supposed collusion with Russia. Now we've got the emails, which they, kept talking about COVID, COVID, COVID to distract people and make people fearful. But it was in fact now verified, even from the FBI. They had the documents that it was started from the Hillary campaign in 2016. And the FBI informed Obama while he was still, president for the last couple of months. And Obama just basically, in other words, do it, but that's enough. I don't want to hear any more about it. So now we've got the evidence that it was actually coming from Hillary, this whole Russian collusion thing. But the mainstream media had to run with it, and they are brainwashing the brain dead Americans who have no, interest in researching anything or questioning anything. And they've run this racism narrative. They've run this Russian collusion narrative. They've run this impeachment narrative. And they have literally blocked all information about the Hunter Biden collusion with a foreign government as a freaking elected, vice president. He's compromised. And they have completely blockaded it, to the point where, as you all know, with the New York Post was the only newspaper that would report it, came through Giuliani. Everything was about, oh, this is Russian collusion, this is Russian disinformation. Same thing they said that Trump was doing, of course. But now when it's in effect for Biden, and they have blocked anything that is anti-Biden or that could, have an issue, he would have an issue with this election. But meanwhile, the information got out anyway. Even though Twitter censored it, they deplatformed people. They refused to allow the link to this New York Post that was displaying everything at the beginning a couple weeks ago. You had Instagram shadow banning, deplatforming. I've been shadow banned, trying to share this information. In fact, even on this YouTube channel, I was blocked from, posting anything for a full week because I uploaded video about Hunter Biden. And so we're living in a country where, half or a little bit less than half of this country is completely oblivious to what's really going on, and they want to call us a cult and this, that, and the other because we actually research. They just follow whatever anybody says, and it's just whatever, as long as one political pundit said, people are not actually voting for Biden. They understand what his history is. They're either voting for Trump or they're voting against Trump. And they're just like, oh, well, it's the lesser of two evils because I so hate Trump and all of that. But meanwhile, they've been led and spoon-fed a bunch of nonsense for years. And so one of the things that we're seeing here is that we are watching this unfold because Trump said as soon as they kept pushing the COVID thing, then they kept saying, well, because of the COVID, high fears, let's do the mail-in ballots. Meanwhile, they're okay with massive BLM riots and protests all over the country. They're okay with, people flying on airplanes next to each other as long as they have masks, but they can't vote in person. I mean, honestly. And we knew that when they started pushing that thing. It's kind of crazy because it's so infantile. Like, you can clearly see that they are trying to rig this election from the beginning. Anyway, we rolled with it. As we see, Trump has usually got something going on. He's already knew this was going on. He already mobilized hundreds of lawyers. But at the end of the day, we still watched it happen. Never in the history of voting, I think only one other time, if I'm not mistaken, have they stopped voting in the key states that pretty much already should have been called. Georgia was at 99%, and they still kept it with the little lines to say that it's not fully, for Trump, but even though even Georgia came out for Trump. And so we saw that in Pennsylvania. Everybody knew Pennsylvania was going to go for Trump because Biden clearly wants to, with his Harris and Green Deal, new Green Deal, and all of that. He wants to end fracking, but he kept lying, and we have footage of him saying both. Now we are sitting here watching this fiasco. So I know a lot of people are nervous and you're just in shock at what has become of America because, people are so divided. Anybody that's conservative is, liable for being harassed, phone calls, death threats. It's okay for us because we're conservatives. We're no longer human beings. We're just conservatives. And anybody that's liberal just goes along with it. That's okay. But they want to call us the bullies. And we are sitting here quietly. We're not the ones out on the streets protesting. You saw Bevelyn Beatty got stabbed election night by black youths, little animals on the street. Um, we got a lot going on, but a lot of people are finally getting fed up because we are watching these Democrats do whatever they can do to since the beginning. Like they've been just doing a lot in 2020, and they claim that they're the victors and they have the moral authority to do so. But at the end of the day, we do know. Trump's son came out and said they have several lawsuits going in several cities. But the good news is that despite all the hot mess, we have whistleblowers happening. We have people speaking out. We have people reaching out to the right authorities. And so this video is not only to just share information with you, but it's also to let you know that I am going to continue sharing information because for many years I've called myself a curator. Like if I'm interested in something, I'm going to go hard and I'm going to go all in. I'm going to go for research. I'm going to go from source to source to source. I never deal with mainstream media because they're already bought and paid for by the deep state. They're just basically like a communist country. Whatever is the party line, that's what they report, and they block everything else. We've seen it all year long. But I will find out. I will find out. And everybody else be damned, as far as I'm concerned, because if you're with evil, then it is what it is. But here, I have a lot of information that I want to share with you guys, and I have three pages on Instagram that I want you to follow, as well as on YouTube. I've curated this information. Maybe some of you already know about it, but this is one of the few still free press organizations. They're not bought and paid for by the Democrats and by the deep state. And so they will give you the actual truth. And so I'm going to show you those footages, but first I want to run through a few things. I know I'm back and forth, but I just had a lot to say. So I said that there were lawsuits in several cities. We do have the whistleblowers. We have many people reporting the incidence of Sharpies, which is a known no-no for ballots in the states where you have to pencil in, or not pencil in, but pen in your selection. And many states, mainly in Arizona, I want to say Nevada, I think there was some in the East as well, where these poll people were giving them Sharpies, which bleed, and then the machine will kick them out. We had many people are now reporting, and they've gone back to the commission and had to submit another ballot, which, because when they got to the poll, it showed that they had already voted. And how is that? We have many people who are showing that there are bags and bags of, thrown away ballots over the last several months in the trash. One USPS individual, an employee named Deshaun something or other, he is being federally prosecuted because he threw a huge bag of mail-in ballots in the trash, and someone located them in a dumpster. And this was a mainly Republican county, and he literally threw them away because, as a black man, he saw it as his duty to, do this. And so we have this all over the country. We had in Detroit, we have footage which you will see on Project Veritas, where they have, because they stopped the voting, supposedly, even though now they magically found 138,000 all for Biden at 4 a.m. in the morning. Now they are boarding up the glass. This whole polling place was enclosed by glass. It was kind of round, and you may have seen the footage, but they were literally putting up cardboard covers on all of the windows and to cover up while they were going in and counting these so-called late ballots and whatnot. And so the poll watchers, some who were Republican and some who were Democrat, were not allowed, even though they're supposed to be in actually watching them counted, they were not allowed to go in and they showed the footage, and the man was in the press conference with Trump's son and whatnot, and he gave his name fully and everything, and we have the footage of them boarding it up so you can't see inside what they're doing. And so we have tons of evidence. People are pouring in with reports, and you just need to understand this is going to be contested for a long time, because basically, per my numbers, Trump had the advantage in many of these, particularly in Georgia and Pennsylvania. He had it, and he would have even been over 270. But because the political machine, it will do whatever it takes in so-called America now. Now we are Venezuela, like Colombia, all these countries where your vote, it just whatever. Like as soon as the Democrats want something, that's just what they're going to do. They're at this point right now, and they do not care, which is why they like Kamala, because we know Kamala's history in California and what she did. And so I'm going to show you guys now a couple of sites that I want you guys to bookmark and follow up every day, because information is coming out on a daily basis. And I'm going to also show you a couple of quick videos from each of these so that you can just get an idea of some stuff that's really going down. It's not hopeless. We haven't actually lost the true spirit of America. Is close, because they've really done a job this year. But I think that we will prevail. Of course, there's going to be rioting, and we know that BLM and Antifa is the militia arm of the Democrats. Biden has never denounced them, though he's, crazed about having Trump denounce racism and denounce Proud Boys and whatever for years, and I have footage of him denouncing it for years, but the mainstream media wants to say every single news report he's failed to denounce racism and white supremacy, and we all have footage of years of him denouncing it. Just straight up lies. But has Biden never once denounced the violence and the protests and the riots and the small businesses that have been ruined by their militia, the Antifa, and admitted that all of the money that is funneling into BLM is going straight to the Democratic Party via the Blue Act, I believe, that fundraising company that funnels straight to the Democratic candidates. So we have this hypocrisy going on, but they're self-righteous and thinking that, they're just such good people, and they're supporting this. And it's amazing, because we are amazed that there are still a few Americans who will actually want the truth, the good and the bad and the ugly. And there's a few people who are still reporting it. So let me show you the screenshots of those who I really want you to follow if you are not yet, and then I'll be right back. All right, so this one is James O'Keefe, and he is the head of Project Veritas, which is a independent news source. They have uncovered lots of corruption over many years. And they back it up with evidence, proof. They interview people. They get whistleblowers. It's so much going on. And I believe I posted a video of his in regards to Facebook censorship. He literally had undercover people interviewing and with a camera with Facebook employees who were literally saying, yeah, if we see it's a conservative, we just simply put a ban on them, because shoot, they felt it was their moral right to do so. This whole new social justice warrior, this whole new generation of kids who just, think it's their right to do whatever the heck they want to do, whether it's legal or not. So he has done a lot. So definitely add him, and let's go to the next one. So this here is Project Veritas. This is their Instagram page. You can see the photo of the Sharpie here. He has released a bombshell, which I'm going to actually show you after this following photo, so that you can see what happened, because he got contacted by a whistleblower from the USPS, one of the branches. And that whistleblower is going to tell you what they've been doing since yesterday with the ballots. All right, and this is the last one. This is Project Veritas Action, and this is where you will see a lot of undercover footage where, they have campaign organizers from various Democratic campaigns across the country, their managers literally saying, oh, he's saying that he is not going to do away with the Second Amendment, but actually he is. It's a lot of hilarious footages from actual campaign leaders where these candidates are literally lying and their people are telling on them without knowing that they're being filmed. great information over here. Definitely check this out. All right, you guys, so I've shown you 3 screenshots of pages that I would love for you to follow, just so that you can be in the know about what is going on, because everything that this reporter and this whole organization is doing is going to the campaign managers. It's going to the Trump administration, and they are collecting so much evidence all over the country. Definitely follow them. It will help your morale. It will help you to feel like, you know, the evil ones are not actually going to win this. But hey, it's going to be contested probably all the way through January. But like usual, the truth will come out. And I'm still waiting for Hillary to be prosecuted, as well as Hunter and Joe. But that's going to be for another day. Right now, I want to show you this whistleblower footage. Now, he is explaining what has been happening at USPS branches, where they were literally informed by their supervisor to backdate ballots, because if they were received after the 3rd in some of the states, they could not be counted. So this literal supervisor told his employees to backdate on the 4th. He told them to backdate it, hand stamp it with the 3rd, so that they could go through. And those were particularly from historically Democratic areas. And then they are now being expressed to the polling stations so that they can count them retroactively. So check this out, and I'll be back after that.
Tell us where you work.
I work in the Traverse City Post Office, more specifically the Barlow branch.
Your boss told you and your colleagues something that shocked you this morning. What was it?
We were issued a directive this morning to collect any ballots we find in mailboxes, collection boxes, just outgoing mail in general, separate them at the end of the day so that they could hand stamp them with the previous day's date. Today is November 4th, for clarification.
Who is your boss, and what is his title?
Jonathan would be a direct supervisor, yes. As of right now, he is the opening supervisor for the Barlow branch post office. So and this is anecdotal, carrier down in another office said they watched the postmaster doing it. If it were just a typical day, it would be clerks doing it up at the distribution center.
So 8 p.m. Election Day, November 3rd. The Court of Appeals ruled ballots have to be received by that time. And what were you told?
To separate them today so they could mark them with yesterday's date and send them through the express system to wherever they needed to go.
This appears to be an attempt to circumvent Michigan law and allow late votes. And you said there was a hamper where letter carriers were supposed to leave their ballots. Where are the ballots now?
They were putting them into express bags to go to the distribution center. In regards to a hamper, there was a standard hamper that all letter mail is supposed to go to, and they had a tub next to it that we were supposed to put any ballots collected today into.
Yes. What made you come forward?
That's sketchy. I don't like sketchy. It screams corruption. Also, knowing the post office's leanings politically, it didn't seem quite right.
What is your message to other postal workers who see things like this?
Report it. How are we supposed to have any integrity in this country if we are just going to let things slide based on a scaling issue?
Are you afraid of retaliation against you?
I've had whistleblower policies backfire on me in the past, so yes.
We'll have to reach out to Jonathan Clark for comment. Hey, is this Jonathan?
Yes.
Hey, I'm a reporter with Project Veritas, James O'Keefe here, and I have information that you guys have been stamping ballots with the previous date, November 3rd. He just hung up the phone on me. He just hung up the phone on me.
All right, you all, so there you have it. This was the first of many videos. I am collecting evidence all over the place because I know a lot of people just don't do that. So what I do is collect information from all over throughout the day. I screenshot them, I record them, and I will be uploading this on a daily basis because at the end of the day, we at least need to have the information, though you will never see it on mainstream media. Please stay tuned. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and definitely share it with your fellow actual patriots of this country who, want to know what's going on and who feel somewhat despondent because it seems like, these people are just doing in-your-face, obvious stuff, and they're getting away with it. But we shall prevail, and there's a lot going on, and we just need to take our time with this. Deep breaths, calm down, and let's stay focused, and be sure to tune in because I got a lot more to share with you. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching my content. I really appreciate your coming back for more. If you would please subscribe and click that notification bell, you'll definitely be able to see the upcoming videos, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Thank you.